This critical process ensures that all equipment and instruments used in manufacturing and quality control are functioning accurately, reliably, and in compliance with stringent regulatory standards. By the end of this session, you'll gain a clear understanding of why qualification is essential, how it safeguards product quality and patient safety, and the key steps involved in executing a robust qualification program. In this video, I will cover key topics including the fundamentals of qualification, various types of equipment and instrument qualifications, essential steps in the qualification process, protocol preparation and documentation, roles and responsibilities of personnel, managing deviations and change controls, and best practices for documentation and record keeping. I will also highlight common pitfalls and how to avoid them, followed by a quick summary and a dedicated Q&A segment. If you have any questions during the session, feel free to jot them down and share them in the comments section below. I'll make sure to respond to each one. Let's get started. Let's start. Qualification ensures that all equipment and instruments operate correctly, consistently, and in full compliance with regulatory requirements. In the pharmaceutical industry, equipment reliability is directly tied to product quality, and ultimately, patient safety. Malfunctioning or unqualified equipment can lead to serious issues such as incorrect dosages, contamination, or ineffective medications. Even minor deviations can pose significant health risks. Through proper qualification, we minimize these risks and ensure that every product manufactured is safe, effective, and of the highest quality. Regulatory bodies such as the FDA, EU GMP, WHO, MHRA, and national standards like Schedule M in India have established stringent guidelines for equipment qualification. These regulations are designed to ensure that all equipment used in pharmaceutical manufacturing adheres to the highest standards of safety, quality, and performance. Failure to comply with these requirements can result in regulatory actions, including warnings, fines, or even suspension of manufacturing activities. Adhering to these guidelines is not just a compliance requirement, it's a critical step in ensuring product integrity and patient safety. For instance, a pharmaceutical company recently received a warning letter from the FDA due to the improper qualification of their tablet compression machine. This lapse triggered a regulatory investigation, led to production delays, and resulted in significant financial losses. This example clearly highlights the importance of thorough equipment qualification, not just to ensure compliance, but to maintain smooth operations and protect a company's reputation. Qualification is performed in distinct stages, each serving a unique purpose. These stages ensure the equipment is suitable for its intended use throughout its life cycle. Let's begin with the first and most critical step, the User Requirement Specification, or URS. Before any equipment is purchased, it's essential to clearly define what is needed. This is done through a documented and approved URS, which acts as the foundation for both successful procurement and qualification of equipment or instruments. Take, for example, the purchase of an HPLC system. The URS might outline specific parameters such as the required flow rate range, the type of detector, and automation capabilities. Without a well-defined URS, there's a risk of acquiring equipment that doesn't align with operational requirements, potentially resulting in costly delays and inefficiencies. A well-crafted URS should be clear, concise, and include testable requirements. Remember, a user requirement specification must always be prepared and approved before issuing a purchase order. Now, let's move on to the next critical step, design qualification, or DQ. This stage should be carried out after the URS has been finalized but before the purchase order is confirmed. Design qualification involves reviewing and verifying the functional and operational specifications of the proposed equipment. It also documents the rationale behind selecting a specific supplier or model. The goal of DQ is to ensure that the equipment's design is capable of meeting both user requirements and relevant regulatory standards. For instance, imagine procuring a tablet compression machine that doesn't comply with GMP design requirements. This could lead to serious compliance issues later on. That's why a thorough design qualification is essential. It helps ensure the chosen equipment is truly fit for its intended purpose. Next, we come to installation qualification, or IQ, a vital step to ensure that the equipment is installed correctly and operates within the defined specifications from the outset. IQ involves verifying the availability and suitability of essential utilities, such as power supply, confirming proper installation of hardware and software, and conducting initial calibration. Every observation made during this process must be thoroughly documented. For example, if a stability chamber is installed without verifying the correct voltage supply, it may malfunction, potentially compromising product stability. By recording all observations during installation, we create a reliable audit trail that helps identify and resolve issues early, ensuring the equipment remains compliant and functions as intended from day one. Now let's look at operational qualification, or OQ. This phase focuses on verifying that the equipment functions as intended under normal operating conditions. During OQ, specific tests are conducted to ensure consistent and reliable performance. For instance, when qualifying an HPLC system, we would assess the accuracy of the flow rate, the detector's response, and the precision of sample injections. These checks confirm that the equipment can repeatedly meet the performance criteria defined in the URS and verified during design qualification. In short, OQ is all about ensuring that the equipment performs reliably, not just once, but every time.
माँ, सोच रहा हूँ अगली ट्रिप स्विट्जरलैंड जाता हूँ।
नहीं बेटा, तुम्हारे लिए ना मनाली ठीक है।
बताइए जल्दी से। इस बार अप्रेजल से ना बड़ी गाड़ी लूँगा।
नहीं नहीं, तेरे लिए छोटी गाड़ी ही ठीक है।
माँ, सेविंग्स चालू कर दी है। अब तो मैं बड़ा कर लूँगा।
नहीं, यही सही है।
मम्मी, आप मेरे सारे प्लान्स पर लिमिट क्यों लगा देते हो?
क्योंकि तुमने भी तो
OQ is all about ensuring that the equipment performs reliably, not just once, but every time. Finally, we have performance qualification, or PQ, the step where the equipment is tested under actual production conditions to confirm consistent, real-world performance. PQ ensures that the equipment not only works in theory but delivers reliable results during routine operations. For example, with a tablet compression machine, PQ involves verifying parameters such as weight uniformity, hardness, and dissolution across multiple production batches. This stage demonstrates that the equipment can consistently produce products that meet quality standards, ensuring both regulatory compliance and operational efficiency in real-life scenarios. Every qualification process must follow a well-structured and systematic approach to ensure that the equipment meets all required standards and complies with regulatory expectations. By following these defined steps, from URS to PQ, we help maintain consistency, reliability, and quality at every stage of the equipment life cycle. This not only ensures compliance but also builds a strong foundation for efficient and trouble-free operations. First and foremost, it's essential to identify which equipment requires qualification by evaluating its potential impact on product quality. Any equipment that directly influences the safety, efficacy, or consistency of the final product should be prioritized for qualification. This ensures that critical systems are thoroughly assessed and meet all necessary standards before being put into use. Once the equipment has been identified for qualification, the next step is to define the test procedures, set clear acceptance criteria, and assign responsibilities. This structured approach ensures that all team members understand their roles, the specific tests to be performed, and the exact standards the equipment must meet to successfully pass the qualification process. It promotes accountability, consistency, and a smooth execution of each qualification phase. Once the qualification protocols are finalized, the necessary tests are carried out, and all results are meticulously documented. This thorough documentation ensures that the entire testing process is transparent, traceable, and fully compliant with regulatory requirements. Proper record keeping not only supports audit readiness but also reinforces confidence in the reliability and integrity of the equipment. If any failures occur during the qualification process, they must be thoroughly investigated, and appropriate corrective actions should be implemented to resolve the issues effectively. Additionally, if any modifications are made to the originally approved protocols, they must be handled through a formal change control process. All changes should be properly documented and approved to maintain regulatory compliance and ensure the overall integrity of the qualification process. Once the qualification process is complete and all observations and test results have been thoroughly documented, a final review must be conducted by the Quality Assurance (QA) team. This critical review ensures that all predefined requirements have been met, all deviations have been addressed, and the equipment is fully qualified and ready for approval and use in manufacturing or testing operations. QA sign-off marks the official completion of the qualification process and the beginning of compliant, validated equipment usage. Now, let's talk about protocol preparation and the essential documentation involved. The qualification protocol is a critical document that outlines the specific procedures, responsibilities, and acceptance criteria for each phase of equipment qualification. It serves as a comprehensive guide to ensure all tests and checks are conducted accurately, consistently, and in compliance with regulatory expectations. Proper protocol preparation helps avoid ambiguity and ensures a smooth, well-documented qualification process from start to finish. The qualification protocol is a vital document that outlines the entire equipment qualification process in a structured and compliant manner. It typically includes the following key components: objective and scope. This section defines the purpose of the qualification and the areas it will cover. It sets the foundation for all subsequent activities. Roles and responsibilities clearly outlines who is responsible for each step of the process, ensuring accountability and smooth coordination. Equipment details includes critical information such as model, manufacturer, serial number, and specifications, all of which help in accurately identifying the equipment under qualification. Test methodology and acceptance criteria describes how each test will be conducted and the specific criteria for passing or failing. This ensures consistency and objectivity in evaluating results. Deviation handling and GAPA, corrective and preventive actions, defines the process for managing any deviations from the protocol and implementing measures to correct and prevent future occurrences. A common pitfall in protocol preparation is setting unclear or vague acceptance criteria.
आपको VLOOKUP फॉर्मूला आता है, अब तक नहीं आता और ना ही आपने इसको सीखा हुआ है। दोस्तों, यूं गर्मा गर्म चाय पीने से ना आपकी लाइफ की प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व नहीं होगी, आपकी सैलरी ग्रोथ नहीं होगी। अगर आप सच में सैलरी ग्रोथ चाहते हो ना, तो वो होगी माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एक्सेल में खुद को मास्टर करने से, क्योंकि माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एक्सेल आज 2024 का एक ऐसा सॉफ्टवेयर बन चुका है जो हर डिपार्टमेंट, हर ऑफिस में यूज होता है। क्या आपको VLOOKUP फॉर्मूला आता है? अब तक नहीं आता और ना ही आपने इसको सीखा हुआ है। आप क्या सोचते हो VLOOKUP नहीं आता, किसी से पूछ लूंगा, चाय पी लूंगा, सॉल्व हो जाएगा प्रॉब्लम। आपको डैशबोर्ड बनाने आता है? नहीं आता है। आप सोचते हो चाय पी लूंगा प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएगा। दोस्तों, ये चाय है ना, आपका सच में सर दर्द कभी दूर नहीं करने वाला है। ये आपको थोड़े टाइम के लिए रिलैक्स कर सकता है, लेकिन अगर रियल में इन सारी प्रॉब्लम को दूर करना चाहते हो, बॉस को इंप्रेस करना चाहते हो, एक सैलरी हाइक चाहते हो, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एडवांस एक्सेल सिंगल पॉइंट आंसर दे रहा हूं, इसमें खुद को मास्टर कर लो। मोर देन 60,000 ओपनिंग्स आज आपका वेट कर रही है। आप सोचोगे सर आप बातें बहुत अच्छी कर रहे हो, ये सच में हमारे सर का दर्द बना हुआ है और चाय पी पी कर दर्द दूर नहीं हुआ है, हम इसे दूर करना चाहते हैं सर, बता दो कैसे। तो मैं राशि माइक्रोसॉफ्ट सर्टिफाइड ट्रेनर, मैं आपको इनवाइट करता हूँ अपने 16 सालों के एक्सपीरियंस के हिसाब से मैं आपके लिए 3 घंटे का एक वर्कशॉप लेकर आया हूँ जो एकदम डायरेक्ट हिट करेगा आपकी सैलरी को। नो बकवास, नो टाइम पास, सीधा काम के फॉर्मूला। आपको मैं प्रैक्टिस शीट दूंगा, उसे डाउनलोड करो। इस 3 घंटे के वर्कशॉप में एक फॉर्मूला बताऊंगा, प्रैक्टिस करो, दूसरा फॉर्मूला बताऊंगा, प्रैक्टिस करो। आपको एडवांस एक्सेल में मास्टर बना के दम दूंगा मैं। सो दोस्तों, इंतजार किस बात का है? नीचे दिए गए लिंक पर क्लिक करो और मैं राज सिंह आपको वर्कशॉप के अंदर मिलूंगा। अब आप सोच रहे होगे सर हम चाहते हैं आपका वर्कशॉप ज्वाइन करना, लेकिन फीस बहुत ज्यादा होगी। नहीं दोस्तों,
Preparation is setting unclear or vague acceptance criteria. When criteria aren't clearly defined, test outcomes can become subjective or misinterpreted, potentially leading to non-compliance. That's why clear, precise, and testable documentation is essential for a smooth qualification process and to meet regulatory expectations confidently. The involvement of the right people is crucial to the success of any qualification process. Having a qualified and cross-functional team ensures that each phase, from planning to execution and final review, is handled with the necessary expertise and attention to detail. When the right individuals are involved, the process becomes more efficient, compliant, and aligned with both operational and regulatory expectations. Successful equipment or instrument qualification requires effective collaboration across multiple departments. Each team plays a critical role in ensuring the process is thorough, compliant, and aligned with operational needs. Engineering team, responsible for proper installation, utility connections, calibration, and initial equipment setup. Quality assurance, QA, reviews and approves qualification protocols to ensure they align with both regulatory requirements and internal quality standards. Validation team conducts the qualification tests, records data, and verifies that the equipment meets all defined specifications. Production or analytical team confirms that the equipment performs effectively during routine manufacturing or analytical operations. Regulatory affairs ensures that the entire qualification process adheres to applicable industry regulations and guidelines, helping to prevent compliance issues. This cross-functional collaboration ensures that every aspect of the qualification process is handled with care and expertise, leading to equipment that is reliable, safe, and fully compliant. When handling deviations and changes during the qualification process, it's essential to follow a structured and documented approach to maintain compliance and uphold the integrity of the entire process. Here's how to manage them effectively. Deviations occur when test results fail to meet the predefined acceptance criteria set in the qualification protocol. For example, if a tablet compression machine fails the weight uniformity test, it signals that the equipment isn't performing as expected. In such cases, a thorough investigation is required to determine the root cause. This could stem from issues such as equipment malfunction, incorrect machine settings, or even environmental conditions affecting performance. Once the cause is identified, appropriate corrective actions must be taken, such as recalibrating the equipment, adjusting process parameters, or repairing faulty components. All findings, actions taken, and results must be fully documented. This ensures regulatory compliance, supports future audits, and helps prevent the recurrence of similar deviations. Change control is essential when making any modifications to qualified equipment, for instance, replacing a faulty HPLC detector. Such changes must be carefully documented and evaluated to ensure they do not impact the equipment's performance, intended use, or compliance with regulatory standards. If changes are made without proper documentation, assessment, and, if necessary, requalification, they can lead to regulatory non-compliance, product quality issues, or operational risks. The change control process provides a structured framework to track, review, assess, and approve any modifications before implementation. This ensures that all changes are justified, validated, and do not compromise the reliability or integrity of the equipment or the overall process. Recordings and documentation are absolutely essential to ensuring a compliant, transparent, and efficient qualification process. Proper documentation not only supports audit readiness but also helps maintain traceability, accountability, and consistency throughout the life cycle of the equipment. Here are some best practices to follow. Proper documentation is not just good practice, it's essential for audits, data integrity, and regulatory compliance. One of the most reliable frameworks to ensure this is the Alcoa Plus principles, which form the foundation of good data management in the pharmaceutical industry. Here's what Alcoa Plus stands for. Attributable. Every entry should clearly indicate who performed the activity or test, ensuring accountability. Legible. All records must be clear and readable, allowing any reviewer or auditor to understand the data without confusion. Contemporaneous. Data should be recorded in real time or immediately after the activity, not hours or days later, to maintain accuracy. Original. Keep the original records intact. Any changes must follow approved procedures and be clearly documented. Accurate. All entries must be truthful and precise. If any corrections are necessary, they should be made transparently, with clear reasoning documented. The plus in Alcoa Plus adds further dimensions to data integrity. Complete. Include all relevant data and observations, no omissions. Consistent. Use standardized formats and processes to ensure uniform documentation practices. Enduring. Records should be secure, retained properly, and accessible over time to support traceability and compliance. For instance, there have been cases where companies received regulatory warnings because essential qualification logbooks were missing or incomplete, highlighting the critical importance of maintaining thorough, accurate, and retrievable records. Remember, good documentation is your first line of defense in audits and inspections. When it comes to equipment qualification, there are several common pitfalls that can compromise compliance, efficiency, and operational reliability. Recognizing these mistakes early and implementing best practices can help you avoid setbacks and ensure a smooth, successful qualification process. Some of the most common pitfalls include:
it's on the Friday evening at 4 o'clock, you're almost into the weekend mode, lot of plans are going in your mind, and you're almost about to actually close your bank, about to get started, and then you hear,
Karthik, have you completed your works?
you could be lucky if you have already completed your work. If you have a lot of those tasks to be done, it could be a really nightmare, especially on the weekend. Let me tell you, it's not always your manager's fault. Many times when you finish the task within the time, you'll be rewarded with more work. And when you are getting rewarded with more work, a sense of hatred towards your work and overloading, getting demotivated, all those things will turn up, and because of that, you become procrastinator and make sure things are getting dragged and dragged. What if I tell you, I have a system that I've developed over the period of time where not only it will help you to prioritize and plan your day in a very, very efficient manner, you will also start enjoying your work while you're doing it. And you'll get enough things to actually work on those things and with the people that matters you the most. Okay, hi, my name is Infinity Karthik, a productivity hacker and a mind coach, and I've helped thousands of people, oh my goodness, 10,000 people to be more precise, to actually rewire their brain so that they can achieve 10x productivity and also get the time for themselves and to work on the most important things they love the most. I'm going to teach you the exact same secret that me and my community members have used for years together and have time tested this. In this particular thing, you will also learn, you'll not only be able to reduce your overworking, but also you'll become a smart worker in a record time. And not only that, you'll be able to chase your passion without compromising on your daily routine, and you will be more happy now compared to the previous version of yourself. It just costs you rupees 199 rupees to beat your procrastination and to get the best out of it. So what are you waiting for? Okay, click on the link below and I'll see you inside.
Kankajura, yani centipede.
Some of the most common pitfalls include 1. Incomplete documentation. Issue. Failing to record key details such as test results, observations, and deviations can create major gaps during audits and compromise regulatory compliance. Solution. Ensure that every aspect of the qualification process is thoroughly documented, following the ALCOA Plus principles to maintain data integrity, traceability, and audit readiness. 2. Undefined acceptance criteria. Issue. Vague or unclear acceptance criteria can lead to confusion, inconsistent evaluations, and even equipment failure going unnoticed. Solution. Clearly define measurable and realistic acceptance criteria in the qualification protocol to remove ambiguity and ensure consistent assessments. 3. Poor deviation handling. Issue. Overlooking deviations, or failing to properly investigate their root cause, can result in recurring problems and regulatory risks. Solution. Establish a structured deviation management process that includes root cause investigation, corrective and preventive actions, CAPA, and proper documentation to resolve and prevent issues effectively. By proactively avoiding these pitfalls and adhering to industry best practices, you can ensure a smoother, more reliable qualification process, while significantly reducing the risk of non-compliance. To ensure a successful and compliant equipment qualification process, it's important to follow a set of well-established best practices. These practices not only enhance efficiency but also reduce the risk of errors and non-compliance. Defining clear objectives, establish specific and measurable goals for the qualification process. Clearly outline what needs to be achieved, why it's important, and the expected outcomes. This keeps all activities aligned, focused, and purpose-driven, ensuring complete documentation follow the ALCOA Plus principles to maintain thorough, accurate, legible, and traceable records. Complete and compliant documentation is essential for audit readiness, accountability, and maintaining data integrity. Training personnel provide regular training to all personnel involved in qualification activities. Make sure everyone understands the procedures, equipment functions, regulatory requirements, and their individual roles and responsibilities. Well-informed teams ensure smoother execution and fewer errors. Regularly reviewing qualification status, monitor the progress of ongoing qualifications regularly. This includes tracking milestones, identifying and resolving issues proactively, and ensuring that timelines and compliance requirements are met. By adopting these best practices, your qualification process becomes more organized, efficient, and audit-ready, while ensuring equipment reliability, product quality, and regulatory compliance. Now let's summarize our learnings today. In today's session, we explored the critical elements of equipment and instrument qualification in the pharmaceutical industry, a process that ensures equipment functions reliably, consistently, and in full compliance with regulatory standards. Here's a quick recap of the key takeaways. Qualification process, a systematic approach to verifying that equipment is suitable for its intended use and compliant with GMP requirements. Stages of qualification. We walked through each phase, URS, DQ, IQ, OQ, and PQ, outlining their purpose and importance. Key considerations. We emphasized the importance of complete documentation, following ALCOA Plus principles, and involving cross-functional teams such as engineering, QA, validation, and regulatory affairs. Handling deviations and changes. You learned how to properly manage deviations through investigations and CAPA, and how to handle modifications through a structured change control process. Common pitfalls and best practices. we identified frequent mistakes like incomplete documentation and undefined acceptance criteria, and shared actionable best practices including clear objectives, proper training, and ongoing reviews. By adhering to these principles and implementing best practices, you can ensure a robust, compliant, and efficient qualification process that not only meets regulatory expectations but also enhances product quality and patient safety. If you have any questions or need further clarification on any of the topics we discussed today, feel free to leave a comment below. I'm always happy to help. You can also reach out to me directly or explore more in-depth insights on equipment and instrument qualifications on my blog, where I share detailed articles and industry best practices. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Do share this video with your friends and colleagues who might benefit from it. This is Rajesh, signing off. Keep learning, stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next one.
World's most powerful AI flip phone with Snapdragon 8 Elite phone in premium Alcantara.
World's first advanced triple 50 megapixel AI camera, world's first Pantone validated flip, world's fastest charging flip,
Toughest flip ever with a redesigned titanium hinge. Now all I do is look at the phone and say, update me.
the world's most advanced AI phone with not just Google Gemini, but you get Moto AI, Copilot, and Perplexity. And you've got the most luxurious finishes with largest and creaseless 7-inch 165Hz main display.
The Motorola Razr 60 Ultra is a flagship level AI flip phone which can challenge any bar phone in every aspect. It's priced under 90,000.
Hello, Moto.
At this stage of your career, recruiters should be chasing you. I tell this to all mid and senior level working professionals that if you want to aim for a CXO level position, a head of department position, you shouldn't still be scrolling randomly through job boards and sending out hazard applications. Instead, recruiters should be reaching out to you with opportunities that match your skills, match your goals and aspirations. And of course, this does not happen by accident. To get there, you need to build your personal brand on LinkedIn. And secondly, you need to build a very strong professional network so that when the right opportunity arises, your name has already been suggested by your acquaintances who could possibly be a decision maker too. Hi, I'm Vikramanand and
Hi everyone, welcome back to PharmaHealth Insights, your go-to space for mastering pharmaceutical GMP and validation essentials. Today, we continue our equipment qualification series by diving deep into installation qualification, or simply IQ. Now this stage is not just another checkbox in the validation life cycle, it's the critical point where theory meets practice. If done right, it sets the tone for compliant, reliable operations. So stay with me till the end. I promise you real-world insights, checklists, and common mistakes that could cost you an audit observation. Installation qualification, the foundation of reliable equipment. Let's understand, what is installation qualification or IQ? Installation qualification is a documented verification process that ensures equipment or a system is received as per purchase order, installed according to approved engineering drawings, it's in compliance with manufacturer's requirements, it's connected correctly to its utilities, it's complete with all accessories and documentation. Now let's simplify it. If you buy a tablet press, you don't just place it on the shop floor and plug it in. IQ ensures that the exact model, installed in the correct area, with correct voltage, compressed air, exhaust, and all validated documentation, is ready to go. Think of it as the warranty check of your GMP system. If IQ is weak, the whole validation chain crumbles. Here's a real-world failure. A major Indian manufacturer received a FDA 483 because a water system skid was installed without verifying proper insulation. The result? Bacterial growth, system shutdown, and product recall. Don't let that happen to you. Let's explore all about IQ. So, when is IQ performed? Here are the key situations where IQ must be executed. After new equipment installation, after major relocation or renovation, after equipment is upgraded or modified, before operational qualification, also known as OQ, as part of requalification, for example after maintenance or downtime. Even if a machine was idle during a plant shutdown, don't skip IQ re-verification. Auditors love to ask, was the installation rechecked post shutdown? Be prepared. What are the regulatory requirements? Here's what major regulations say. EU GMP Annex 15 clearly mandates documented IQ before OQ. US FDA guidance, process validation. IQ must demonstrate installation matches the design. WHO TRS 937. IQ ensures compliance with building, utility, and design specs. In one WHO GMP inspection, a missing calibration certificate in IQ led to a critical deficiency. The equipment worked, but documentation didn't. So what's the lesson? In GMP, if it's not documented, it didn't happen. Now let's look at the detailed IQ protocol sections with examples. Every protocol must start with an objective. It defines the purpose of the IQ, to verify installation of XYZ equipment complies with manufacturer recommendations and internal URS. Each protocol should have a scope. Which system, equipment is covered? Always include name, for example, fluid bed dryer, tag or ID number, make and model, location, block, room number. Define the responsibilities, who does what? It typically includes engineering, for installation and utility verification, validation team, for protocol preparation and execution, QA, for review, deviation control, final approval. If your protocol doesn't clearly assign responsibility, you risk finger pointing during audits. Assign roles clearly. Include equipment description. Full equipment identification should be given with purchase order copy, tag number and nameplate photo, machine capacity, e.g. 60 kg blender, subsystems such as motor, PLC panel, filter housing, serial numbers. Always include reference documents. These should include URS and DQ documents, vendor O&M manuals, engineering layouts, piping and instrumentation diagrams, also known as P and ID, calibration and test reports, change control, if it is a reinstallation. The protocol should include installation checks. These are the heart of IQ. Always verify and document. Dimensions. Is the equipment installed as per layout? Orientation. Is it facing correct direction? Leveling. Is the machine stable and aligned? Utilities. Are voltage, compressed air, water lines connected as per spec? Filters and seals. Are all gaskets, filters in place? Earthing and safety guards installed? Let's have a look at few examples. For an autoclave, check steam inlet line insulation, pressure relief valve position for HVAC, AHU unit, verify air velocity, duct orientation, filter class and integrity. Next, add the instrumentation check, record all measuring instruments used in the system, pressure gauges, temperature sensors, flow meters, check calibration tags, are they valid? Cross-verify serial numbers with calibration reports. If a single pressure gauge is overdue for calibration, your entire IQ becomes questionable. Don't let one tag bring down your validation. Include the spare parts and accessories. Confirm all components are present, such as toolkits, spares, such as filters, gaskets, control panels, cables, connectors. Check vendor packing list versus received items. Include documentation verification in the protocol. Confirm presence of operation manual, electrical drawings, mechanical layout, validation certificates, FAT, SAT, if done, installation photos, pre and post, training certificates, if applicable. Include safety features check. This is a compliance hotspot. Emergency stop button tested. Electrical earthing confirmed. Audible, visual alarms functional. Fire retardant panels used. Don't forget the deviation management. Document any mismatch, such as utility connection missing, incorrect dimension, calibration tag expired, then log deviation, investigate, implement kappa, re-verify. The protocol should have an approval page, must include signatures and dates from engineering, validation team, user department, quality assurance. If QA hasn't signed, IQ is invalid, no matter how well it's executed. This final sign off is your green light to proceed. Let's have a look at a live equipment example. Automatic capsule filling machine IQ, equipment tag verification, cross-check PO versus equipment label, installation area, Class D area with epoxy flow and cleanable walls, utilities check, compressed air line at 6 bars, 415 volts 3-phase supply, safety check, acrylic guards on hopper and dosing area. Accessories, toolkit, cleaning brush, feeder, extra nozzles, calibration tags, weighing balance, vacuum gauge verified. Photos include inlet, outlet chute installation, panel connections. Let's see what are common IQ pitfalls. The top 5 mistakes: using an old IQ template, not matching the equipment, skipping utility verification or accepting vendor word, not capturing photographic evidence, signing off IQ before deviations are closed, performing IQ after OQ, chronological error. A plant was denied US FDA approval because their IQ was executed after OQ, a small planning error, a huge business loss. For IQ report preparation, use the executed protocol, attach all calibration reports, drawings, photos, close deviations formally, review and sign by cross-functional team, archive with document control index. Let me give you a pro tip: bind all IQ documents as a master validation file. Label clearly with equipment ID for traceability. Let's see the IQ and the qualification life cycle. IQ acts as the gatekeeper. It ensures you're starting on solid ground. Only after IQ completion can operational qualification begin. Skipping IQ is like building your house without checking the foundation. So here are the final thoughts and key takeaways. IQ verifies installation correctness, not performance. It is evidence-based, document-heavy, and compliance-critical. Done right, it saves you from regulatory pain. Use a checklist, involve QA, and document everything. Always perform IQ before OQ. Follow sequence strictly. I hope this detailed walkthrough gave you the clarity and confidence to handle installation qualification like a pro. In my next video, we'll step into operational qualification, OQ, testing how your equipment performs under real-time parameters. If you need help with your URS, DQ, IQ or overall validation strategy, contact me, Rajesh Kapoor, at PharmaHealth Insights at +91 9739 21 6355 or email me at pharmahealthinsights@gmail.com. We provide complete GMP consultancy services from design to regulatory inspection readiness. If you found value here, drop a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Also, leave a comment. Tell me which equipment IQ gave you the most challenge. Till next time, keep learning, keep inspired. Welcome back to Pharma Health Insights with Rajesh. If you've been following this series, you already know we've been diving deep into the world of pharmaceutical equipment qualification, and today, we're finally at the grand finale, performance qualification, or PQ. Now let me ask you, have you ever wondered why, despite all the design checks, installation inspections, and operational tests, equipment sometimes still fails during real production? Here's the secret. PQ is the critical final step that ensures your equipment not only works in theory, but consistently delivers in the real world. In this video, we'll cover what is performance qualification, why is it so crucial for pharma manufacturing, a step-by-step guide on how to perform PQ successfully, regulatory expectations and common audit findings, the biggest mistakes companies make, and how you can avoid them. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete, practical roadmap to execute PQ confidently and ensure your equipment is production ready and audit proof. So grab your notebook, stay with me till the end, and let's make you a PQ expert. Where are we in the equipment qualification journey? We've covered a lot in this series, so let's quickly recap where PQ fits in. URS, User Requirement Specification. What you want the equipment to do. DQ, Design Qualification. Does the design meet your requirements? IQ, Installation Qualification. Is the equipment installed correctly? OQ, Operational Qualification. Does the equipment operate as intended under controlled conditions? Now comes the final step, PQ, Performance Qualification. It's where we test the equipment under actual production conditions, with real products, real volumes, real people, and sometimes even under stress or worst case conditions. PQ is where the rubber meets the road. Without it, you're running blind. What is performance qualification? Performance qualification is defined as documented verification that equipment or systems perform consistently and reproducibly according to predefined acceptance criteria under actual production conditions. Think of it like this. IQ checks if your car is assembled properly, OQ checks if the car runs smoothly in a test drive, PQ checks if the car survives real-world road trips, traffic jams, potholes, rain, long hours without breaking down. In pharma, examples include a capsule filling machine consistently meeting fill weight, speed, and rejection limits. A water system consistently providing water that meets pharmacopoeial specifications. A cold room consistently maintaining required temperatures even during door openings or power fluctuations. PQ is all about performance in real-life situations, not just in a test lab. Why is PQ so critical, and why PQ matters? Here's why PQ is one of the most critical phases in the equipment life cycle. Regulatory requirement, CGMP, US FDA, EU Annex 15, WHO GMP all require PQ as part of the qualification package. Ensures product quality. You can only guarantee consistent product quality when equipment works as intended under actual conditions. Protects patient safety. Failures in production can mean product recalls or, worse, harm to patients. Avoids downtime and losses. Detect and fix performance issues early, before commercial batches are impacted. Completes process validation. Remember, equipment qualification and process validation go hand in hand. Skipping PQ is like launching a spaceship without testing it in orbit. You are gambling with your product, reputation, and compliance. Let's see what's included in PQ. A good PQ program has these essential elements. 1. PQ Protocol. It's an approved document with scope, objectives, responsibilities. It defines critical parameters, acceptance criteria, sampling plan. 2. Test plan, execution. Ensures actual production runs with commercial materials. Typically 3 consecutive batches or runs are considered. It includes normal and sometimes worst case conditions. 3. Sampling and testing includes in-process tests, finished product tests, environmental and utility monitoring where applicable, equipment performance parameters, e.g., speeds, pressures, temperatures. 4. Data collection, all raw data, observations, calibration results, all deviations and investigations if limits are exceeded. 5. Summary report includes results versus acceptance criteria, deviations and corrective actions, final conclusion and approval. Remember, if you don't define it, test it, and document it, regulators will assume it wasn't done. Now let's come to step-by-step PQ execution. Here's how a typical PQ is executed. Develop the PQ protocol. Involve cross-functional teams, QA, production, engineering, validation, review and approve before execution. Train the team. Everyone executing the protocol must understand their roles, prepare the equipment, ensure preventive maintenance, calibration, OQ completion, run under routine conditions, using actual materials. Sometimes it also includes maximum and minimum loads, challenging environmental conditions, worst case scenarios, example, longest run time, fastest speed, collect samples and data, as per the sampling plan, include in-process, finished product, and environmental checks. Document deviations. Investigate and close any out-of-spec or unexpected results. Prepare the PQ report. Compare results to acceptance criteria. Summarize deviations, corrective actions. Get final approval by QA as a real-world example. Let's walk through a tablet compression machine PQ. Objective. Confirm that the machine consistently produces tablets within weight, hardness, thickness, and friability specifications. Plan. Run 3 batches of actual product. Monitor speed, compression force, feeder performance. Perform in-process checks every 15 to 30 minutes. Check environmental conditions, temperature, humidity. Acceptance criteria is greater than or equal to 98% tablets within spec. Rejection rate is less than or equal to 2%. No major machine alarms or stoppages. Outcome. All runs pass. Equipment is ready for routine use. Deviations. Investigate, correct, and requalify if needed. This approach can be adapted for packaging lines, sterilizers, clean utilities, and more. Regulatory expectations. What are the regulatory requirements? PQ is required by major global regulatory bodies. US FDA 21 CFR 211 requires control over equipment and processes. EU GMP Annex 15 explicitly defines PQ as part of qualification. WHO GMP requires equipment to be proven under routine production conditions. During audits, inspectors will check approved PQ protocol, raw data, test records, deviations and investigations. Final report with QA approval. Well-executed PQ equals smooth audit. Poorly documented PQ equals warning letters. Let's talk about common mistakes and how to avoid them. Unclear acceptance criteria. Define measurable, realistic, and justified limits. Inadequate sampling. Use statistically valid sampling plans, not just random checks. No challenge conditions. Test worst case scenarios, not just ideal runs. Incomplete documentation. Record raw data, observations, and sign-offs as they happen. Skipping cross-functional review. Always involve QA, production, engineering, validation. Avoid these, and you're on your way to bulletproof PQ execution. To summarize, PQ is the final and critical step in equipment qualification. It proves that your equipment works reliably under real production conditions. It protects product quality, ensures compliance, and reduces operational risk. Remember, if you don't test it in the real world, you can't trust it in the real world. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your pharma colleagues. Check out the full playlist on URS, DQ, IQ, and OQ. I've got you covered across the entire qualification journey. Got a question, or want me to cover a specific PQ example? Drop it in the comments below. I read and reply to everyone. Thank you for watching Pharma Health Insights, where we make pharma simple, practical, and powerful. Until next time, stay compliant, stay curious, and keep transforming health. Hello everyone, welcome back to Pharma Health Insights. Are you sure your pharma equipment really works the way it should? Because just installing it isn't enough. Today, I'm revealing everything you must know about operational qualification, the make or break step in GMP equipment validation that can make or break your audit. Stay tuned as we walk through OQ protocols, real pharma examples, audit expectations, and some critical mistakes you must avoid. And don't forget to subscribe to Pharma Health Insights, your trusted channel for GMP mastery. I'm Rajesh, and you're watching the GMP Equipment Qualification series where we break down URS, DQ, IQ, OQ, and PQ step by step with real-world industry insights. Today's topic is Operational Qualification, OQ, and we will cover what is OQ, why OQ is vital, how to perform it perfectly, some common mistakes, and how auditors evaluate it. If you have missed my earlier videos on URS, DQ, and IQ, make sure to check out the complete playlist. Links are in the description. What is operational qualification? Operational qualification, OQ, is the documented verification that the installed equipment operates according to its intended functions within specified operating ranges. It's not about installation, that was IQ. It's not about performance under real production loads, that's PQ. It's purely about functionality. Example, if you have a tablet compression machine, OQ will check if the compression force, turret speed, and ejection force work exactly as specified under all standard operating ranges. Why is OQ important in GMP? Regulatory agencies like US FDA, WHO GMP, MHRA, AU GMP require proof that your equipment consistently operates as intended. OQ ensures equipment doesn't fail in production when it matters most. It mitigates operational risks before product runs begin. It avoids costly deviations, recalls, and audit findings. Just think about it, if you skip a proper OQ, it's like driving a new car without checking if the brakes actually work. When should operational qualification be performed? After successful installation qualification, IQ, and before you start manufacturing batches for commercial use. Some special cases where OQ needs to be performed additionally, after major equipment overhauls or software upgrades, after relocation of equipment, after critical repairs. Always remember, OQ before PQ. What should an OQ protocol contain? Now, let's go deeper into how your operational qualification protocol should be properly built, so you can get a real-world, audit-passing template. Operational Qualification, OQ, Protocol Key Sections, 1. Purpose and Scope. Purpose. Define the objective of the OQ, example, to verify that the equipment operates according to design specifications and intended use under normal and stress conditions. Scope. Mention the equipment name, model, location, and covered functionalities. For example, this OQ covers the tablet compression machine model ABC 2000 installed in Block A, Manufacturing Unit 1. 2. Responsibilities. User department, performing tests and providing operational expertise, engineering, maintenance, ensuring utility and mechanical readiness, quality assurance, QA, reviewing and approving protocols, overseeing execution, validation team, executing or coordinating testing and documentation. 3. Equipment description should include general description, make, model, serial number, manufacturer's name and address, utility requirements, power, water, compressed air, etc., software and firmware version, if any. 4. Prerequisites. Pre-qualification requirements include completion of installation qualification, IQ, calibration of all critical instruments, pressure gauges, temperature sensors, etc., availability of standard operating procedures, SOPs, availability of qualified operators, safety checks completed. 5. Test plan, test procedures. These are the heart of OQ. Each operational feature must be tested systematically. Test name, clearly name each test. Objective, what are you testing? Methodology, how exactly will you perform the test? Acceptance criteria, what results are considered acceptable? Observed results, actual readings, results during testing, pass, fail status, final assessment. Typical tests to include control panel functionality, startup and shutdown sequences, alarm checks, such as high temperature, low pressure, emergency stop functionality. Normal operational parameter verification, for example, RPMs, pressures, temperatures, safety interlock functionality, power failure and recovery simulation, software validation, for equipment with control software. 6. Critical alarms and interlocks testing. Confirm that safety alarms trigger correctly under failure conditions. Confirm that interlocks prevent unsafe operations, for example, machine won't start unless doors are closed. 7. Data recording and forms. Attach pre-formatted data sheets for recording test results. Include space for date, time of test, tester's name and signature, reviewer's name and signature, observations and comments. 8. Deviation management. Define how deviations, such as a failed alarm test, are recorded, investigated, and resolved. Include deviation numbering system. Please note, every deviation must have a kappa, corrective and preventive action, if necessary. 9. Summary and conclusion. A short, clear statement confirming whether the equipment passed or failed OQ. If conditional, example, some minor deviations, state actions to be completed before moving to PQ. 10. Attachments, calibration certificates, drawings, diagrams used during OQ, equipment manuals, previous qualification documents, if relevant. Pro tip. Always base your test ranges on your user requirement specification, URS, and design qualification, DQ. For example, during the testing of autoclave cycles, check temperature range, example, 121 degrees Celsius plus or minus 1 degree Celsius, pressure range, cycle time validation. Now let's have a look at some real pharma examples of operational qualification. Example 1. During HVAC system OQ, verify airflow velocities, HEPA filter integrity tests, room pressure differentials. Example 2. During water system OQ, check conductivity, TOC, total organic carbon, microbial count. Example 3. During tablet coater OQ, verify spray rates, drum speed, inlet air temperature. Always remember, operational qualification isn't just a checklist, it's your defense shield during GMP audits. Let's see the common mistakes that can occur during OQ. Starting OQ before completing IQ, missing alarm and interlock testing, using vendor default settings without verifying ranges, poor documentation, not enough evidence for auditors, not documenting minor deviations and corrective actions. Remember, In GMP, if it's not documented, it's not done. Always remember, a well-documented OQ protocol is your insurance against regulatory penalties. Auditors love clear, logical, fully executed protocols. That's bring it to summary and conclusion of today's video. Operational qualification is the proof of reliability before real production. It protects your process, product, patients, and your license to operate. Always use a detailed OQ protocol, involve your QA team, and test critical functionalities thoroughly. Coming up next, in the next video, we'll deep dive into performance qualification, PQ, the final and crucial step to make your equipment fully GMP certified. If you found this video valuable, like, share with your colleagues, comment your questions below, and subscribe to PharmaHealth Insights and hit the bell icon for more real-world GMP content. Contact me, Rajesh Kapoor, at +91 9739 21 6355 or pharmahealthinsights@gmail.com. We provide complete GMP consultancy services from design to project management and regulatory inspection readiness. Welcome back to PharmaHealth Insights. Have you ever been confused between qualification and validation in pharma? Maybe you've seen these words in SOPs, regulatory documents, or during audits, and thought, aren't they kind of the same? No, they are fundamentally different, but also deeply connected. In today's video, we'll take a deep dive into both concepts. We'll explain what qualification and validation really mean under GMP. We'll unpack terms like IQ, OQ, PQ, DQ, process validation, cleaning validation, and more. Plus, we'll break it all down in simple language with technical accuracy. So whether you are a student or a professional, this will upgrade your understanding. Let's set the stage. GMP, good manufacturing practices, requires that pharmaceutical products are consistently produced and controlled. To meet this, GMP has two backbone pillars. Facilities and equipment must perform properly. Processes must reliably produce quality products. This is where qualification and validation come in. Qualification proves that equipment, utilities, and systems are installed, operate, and perform as intended. Validation proves that the manufacturing process does what it's supposed to, again and again, giving consistent quality. Regulatory bodies like the FDA, EMA, WHO, and PICS emphasize both in their guidelines, like EU GMP Annex 15, FDA's process validation guidance, and WHO's validation guidelines. Let's now zoom in on qualification. Technical definition. Qualification is the documented verification that facilities, systems, and equipment are properly designed, installed, and operate as intended. In simple words, it's proof that your equipment and systems are set up right and work right. Let's have a look at the types of qualification. The 4-step model, DQ, design qualification. Are we buying, installing the right thing? Example, you are ordering a new autoclave. DQ ensures it meets URS, user requirement specification, before it's built. IQ, installation qualification. Is the equipment installed properly as per specifications? Checks include utilities, electrical, water, air, components, part numbers, calibration certificates. OQ, operational qualification. Does it operate according to the functional specs? Tests include temperature mapping alarms, sensor speed, pressure per revolution per minute settings. PQ, performance qualification. Does it perform consistently under real conditions? Example, running 3 batches on a tablet press to prove it consistently makes tablets of acceptable quality. Let's take an example of tablet compression machine. During DQ, you define that you need a machine with 16 stations, 10,000 tablets per hour, 1030 kilonewtons compression force. During IQ, verify all parts installed per manual, utilities connected. During OQ, run placebo tablets, test speed, weight variation. During PQ, produce real batches and check hardness, disintegration, weight, thickness, everything meets specs. Now let's move on to validation. Here's the technical definition. Validation is the documented evidence that a specific process, method, or system consistently produces a product meeting its predetermined specifications and quality attributes. Simply, we are proving that the process works every time. Here are the types of validation. Process validation. ensures that manufacturing processes like mixing, granulation, filling work consistently. Cleaning validation proves that after cleaning, no significant residues or contaminants remain. Analytical method validation proves that testing methods are accurate, precise, reproducible. Transport, shipping validation ensures product remains within acceptable conditions, e.g., temperature, during transit. Now let's have a look at 3 process validation stages. As per FDA, stage 1 is process design. In this stage, develop your process. Identify CPPs, critical process parameters, and CQAs, critical quality attributes. Stage 2 is process qualification. This is the validation batches stage. Usually 3 consecutive batches are run under normal conditions. Stage 3 is continued process verification. After validation, keep monitoring to ensure process remains in control over time. Let's take an example of validation of syrup manufacturing. In stage 1, you design a process, such as dissolve sugar, add actives, mix for 30 minutes at 40 degrees Celsius. In stage 2, you run 3 batches, check pH, viscosity, assay, microbial limits, all meet specs. In stage 3, you set up routine checks, 1 batch per month is trend to catch any drifts. Now let's see the clear and technical key differences between qualification and validation. Let's quickly break down the key differences between qualification and validation. First, focus. Qualification deals with equipment, systems, and utilities, like your tablet press or water system. Validation focuses on processes and methods, for example, coating tablets or cleaning tanks. Second, objective. Qualification checks if equipment works as designed. Validation ensures the process consistently meets product specs. Next, guidance. Qualification follows EU GMP Annex 15, WHO, and ISPE. Validation is driven by FDA process validation guidance and WHO guidelines. For example, qualification, IQ, OQ, PQ of a tablet press. Validation, process validation of the tablet coating process. Life cycle approach, qualification is usually one time, unless there's a major change. Validation is ongoing, with continuous monitoring. Finally, documentation, qualification, protocols and reports, IQ, OQ, PQ. Validation master plan and reports. In short, qualification equals proving your equipment works. Validation equals proving your process works, over and over again. Let's look at the common mistakes, and how to avoid them. Confusing qualification and validation. Make a simple rule, machines equals qualification, processes equals validation. Keep that clear to stay compliant. Missing PQ. Some firms skip or rush performance qualification. Auditors flag this fast. Always complete IQ, OQ, PQ fully. No requalification, revalidation. When you move equipment or tweak processes, remember, you may need to requalify or revalidate. Poor documentation. Stick to Alcoa Plus, attributable, legible, contemporaneous, original, accurate, plus complete, consistent, enduring, available. Skipping continued process verification. Validation doesn't end after 3 batches. Keep monitoring with trends and periodic reviews to stay in control. Let's see what the regulatory expectations are. Regulators expect you to have a clear validation master plan, VMP. Show complete qualification reports, IQ, OQ, PQ. Provide validation protocols and batch records. Demonstrate risk assessment and justification for the level of qualification, validation. Present continued monitoring data to prove control over time. Missing or incomplete documentation can trigger FDA Form 483 observations, WHO, MHRA deficiencies, or even a warning letter. Alright, to sum it all up, qualification is your proof that the equipment and systems work as intended. Validation is your proof that the process works consistently and reliably. Both are mandatory under GMP and are essential for ensuring patient safety and product quality. If you found this video useful, please subscribe to PharmaHealth Insights and tap the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Have any questions or a tricky validation scenario you are facing? Drop it in the comments. I'm here to help. And don't miss our next deep dive. We're covering cleaning validation in detail. See you in the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Till next time, be inspired and keep learning. Hi everyone. Welcome back to Pharma Health Insights, your go-to channel for all pharma and healthcare learning. Today, we are talking about one of the most fundamental yet often misunderstood document in the pharma industry, the User Requirement Specification, or URS. Whether you are in QA, QC, engineering, IT, or even a pharmacy student, understanding URS is essential if you're part of any system, equipment, or facility implementation. So, stay tuned till the end. What is a URS? Let's begin with a simple definition. A User Requirement Specification, or URS, is a formal document that clearly outlines what the user expects from a piece of equipment, system, software, or process. It sets the foundation for every step that follows, from design and procurement to validation and operation. It sets the foundation for every step that follows, from design and procurement to validation and operation. Think of it like this: if you were building your dream house, you'd start with a list of requirements, number of rooms, facing direction, parking, ventilation, and so on. That's exactly what a URS is, a blueprint of expectations before the actual work begins. It answers one crucial question: what do we need this system or equipment to do, and under what conditions? Why is URS important? So, why do we even need a URS? Here's why it's absolutely crucial. Sets clear expectations. Everyone, user, vendor, QA, validation, knows what is expected. Forms the basis for validation. Documents like DQ, IQ, OQ, and PQ are all based on URS. Helps in vendor selection. Only suppliers who can meet your requirements should be considered. Ensures regulatory compliance. Regulatory agencies often ask for URS to check if the equipment or system was appropriately selected. Avoids costly mistakes. A poorly defined or missing URS can lead to delays, rework, or even regulatory penalties. So remember, a URS is not just a formality. It's a strategic planning document. Now let's see, where is URS used in pharma? URS is not limited to high-end projects. It's used everywhere in pharma. Here are some examples. Production. For procuring machines like granulators, tablet compression machines, blenders, etc. Quality control. For analytical instruments like HPLC, GC, UV-Vis, dissolution testers, etc. Microbiology labs. For biosafety cabinets, autoclaves, particle counters. Engineering. For HVAC systems, water systems, RO, WFI, generators, AHUs. IT systems, for implementing LIMS, ERP, SCADA, or any GXP software. Facility design, for new clean rooms, warehouses, or even R&D labs. No matter the scope, URS is your first step to defining what is needed. Who prepares the URS? The term user in User Requirement Specification often creates confusion. Let's clear that up. While the end users initiate the process, URS is actually prepared collaboratively. End users, they define the operational and functional needs. Quality assurance ensures that regulatory and data integrity requirements are covered. Engineering, IT, validate feasibility and technical requirements. Project management ensure timelines, budget, and project scope are aligned. Regulatory affairs may be consulted for specific compliance points like 21 CFR Part 11, EU Annex 11, Schedule M, etc. It's a team effort and needs cross-functional alignment. What's the structure of a good URS? A well-drafted URS is structured and easy to interpret. Let me walk you through the typical components. Objective. Brief overview of what the document is about. Scope. Define the boundaries. What's included and excluded? Intended use. How will the equipment or system be used? User requirements. Split into functional requirements. What the system must do. Non-functional requirements. Performance, reliability, safety. Regulatory and data integrity requirements include CGMP, GAMP5, Alcoa Plus, 21 CFR Part 11 if applicable. Safety and environmental requirements, any EHS aspects, noise, emissions, pressure limits. Installation and utility requirements, what power, space, or environmental conditions are needed. Acceptance criteria, what parameters or functions will be tested during SAT. References, list guidelines, SOPs, standards used to draft the URS, approval signatures. The document must be approved by all stakeholders. Pro tip, use tables for user requirements. Common mistakes in URS. Here are some frequent URS mistakes that can cost dearly. Vague language, like, system should be user-friendly. What does that even mean? Copy-pasting URS from unrelated equipment, huge risk. No input from QA or regulatory, leads to gaps in compliance. Missing out data integrity are 21 CFR Part 11 for software systems. Not updating URS after a change in process or use case. Tip, review and revise your URS before finalizing. It's not a static document, it should evolve with your process needs. Now let's talk about URS in validation lifecycle. URS is the starting point of the V model used in pharmaceutical validation. Here's how it fits in. Each qualification document is built upon URS. Each test case in OQ or PQ must map to a URS requirement. This is called traceability. So if your URS is weak or vague, your entire validation lifecycle becomes shaky. Now, what's the role of URS in regulatory audits? Regulatory agencies like FDA, MHRA, WHO often start validation review with one simple request: show me the URS. They want to know, did you know what you needed before purchasing? Is the equipment suitable for intended use? Are all requirements traceable to test results? Let me give you a real example. In one MHRA audit, a company failed to justify why their environmental monitoring system didn't alert during temperature excursions. Why? Because the URS never required it. So, what's the lesson? If it's not in the URS, it can't be expected from the system later. So here's the final takeaway. A well-constructed URS is not just paperwork, it's strategic documentation that saves time, ensures compliance, improves product quality, and enhances audit readiness. So next time you're about to implement something new, don't rush, sit down, think, collaborate, and write a strong URS. Have a question or need a URS template? Drop a comment below. I'd love to help. Until next time, stay compliant, stay curious. If this video helped you, hit the like button, subscribe for more pharma insights, and share this with your QA, QC, and engineering friends.